I don't think that's what you meant, but just for the people who do that, well, these hands have been bad. For the people who do that, I don't understand what you expect to happen. Yeah, Control A Savuk highlights all the cards and lets you take it. Yeah, it's like there's a chat here, you know? Did I brew a tribal pod? Yeah, we played Goblins earlier, and it seemed very good in Goblins. But Goblins was like seems soft to the Tybalt's Trickery deck that's running around, and also Prowess decks. Yeah, having all 4 Trash for Treasure in the first hand stings. I was thinking about only playing 3 copies because we're not like all in on it. How was John? We went 4-1 into 1-3. So about as the same as it always is. All right. I will sing the name of the next card I've drawn for 100,000 China points. Appreciance. But I'll mulligan my hand, and then the first card I draw on my second turn, if I remember, because I didn't last time, I'll sing. But my opponent is not here quite yet. Goblin's best answer to Tybalt's Trickery deck is probably Tybalt's Trickery. That doesn't work, right? They still get to Emrakul, right? Surely that's not how that works. I mean, the best answers are going to be Discard Spells, Damping Sphere, and Mindbreak Trap. Or Splashing White for Deafening Silence is also a consideration. Is Sliver's Modern playable? Not really, I think. Isn't Valky better in a black-white Flicker Charming Prince deck with Strangler? Is that how it works? If you flicker Valky, you can put the other side into play? Because I don't believe that's how it works. I believe only the front half comes down. But if I'm wrong, I guess. I can keep the mountain. It is how it works? I don't think it is. If I'm wrong, but... If you flicker something, you get the front side, and Valky is the front side. I see. So I guess we're going to be trying to Metallic Rebuke on turn 2 rather than Emry. Oh yeah, don't forget to sing. Okay. So much pressure. It's only the 3rd time this option has been redeemed. No, I haven't drawn a card for my turn yet. This is fine. We're still well within our range. Welcome to the hand! Trash for treasure!
It's me, your friend, Aspiring Spike.
Thank you. Hold your applause. Pinecrest Ridge. Now that's going deep. So I probably do this in my upkeep, right? MV, thank you for 2 months in a row. Do love to see that 2nd month. 1 sing equal 1 subscribe. Yeah, this card seems pretty cool. I like it. Just any painless Gruul land I think is good in their deck. Thanks, Haunted. My counterspell beats your counterspell. So the Damping Spheres, the other blue counterspells, the Damping Sphere. Can they beat Bridge? That's a sideboard card. Dude, yeah, if Burn, if you're looking for a sideboard card, I guess it's too slow on the draw. But I'm still going to play it. But like on the draw for Burn, it's a little too slow probably. Cut the Wurmcoil, cut the Explosives, cut the Lightning Greaves, the Treasure Map. 4th Urza. Matchup seems fine. You've got a lot of cheap counter spells and some lock pieces. Just have to mulligan to a hand that meets that criteria. Kind of a weird hand. I think we do keep. I really wish we could turn 1 Emry with this hand. But we should be able to turn 2 Emry with Rebuke up, right? If we play... Oh, that's an interesting draw. I think we're just getting Steam Vents and casting the drum, though. So next turn we can go Mox Amber, Emry for 1 mana, and then... Oh, wait, hold on. Yeah, I actually needed this untapped land, didn't we? Which we did find, at least. Now, do I want to play Magda, or do I want to play... Yeah, I think I want to play Magda plus Amber here. So we can tap this for blue, make a treasure. Although we can't, we can only do that in response. Yeah, we're not going to do this end of turn because then we lose to Violent Outburst because they can respond to the Magda trigger. But we make a treasure token, float a blue, tap this and the treasure token to Rebuke. But if they main phase this, obviously we'll just counter. No Emry. This is, I think, a bit better because we want to get the treasures down so we can combo off, right? Just like sack 5 treasures. Maybe I'm, off about that being the play. Oh, come on. All right. Magda! We did it. Magda won us the game. Interesting hand. I might keep. It's a bit slow on the draw, though. I do like Lightning Greaves a lot in this deck. It's kind of an exciting card to play on turn 2. I think we could go... Goblin Engineer and immediately sacrifice the Greaves or any 0-mana artifact we play to put an artifact into play. But it's not like we have like Ensnaring Bridge or anything too crazy to get immediately. I think I'm going to keep. How many channel points to get into Valhalla? Good question. So if we draw a mountain, I'll play Dwarven Mine on turn 1. If not, or sorry, I won't play Dwarven Mine on turn 1. Otherwise, I'm just going to play it. Does Ensnaring Bridge? Yeah, Ensnaring Bridge does beat the Tibalt Trickery deck, but you have to like have it in play before. It really only works on the play. Or there are some variants that also play some Eldrazi that they can cascade into that kill the bridge. Some of them aren't all in on Emrakul. Whenever I see this island, I always think that they're playing an Urza deck. I'm not playing any basic islands, so I sadly didn't include this one. This doesn't look like Gender Tibalt. You already played it. Is the title not changed? Yeah, I tweeted out last night that Mindbreak Trap is like the card you should play if you're looking for something to beat these Tibalt decks. But then I realized it's not really the card, right? Because if they're the Mystic Sanctuary version, they just Sanctuary. They get to take their extra turn off Emrakul, Sanctuary back their Trickery, and then do it again. So it's not like it just beats the deck, but it is an option for sure. So I deleted the tweet like right after I sent it because I realized that's how it would go. So I didn't want to recommend bad tech. Opponent maybe thinking about if they want to counter this Lightning Greaves or not. Unsure what deck is playing Lightning Greaves. Mindbreak exiles, so no Sanctuary. It exiles the Emrakul. It doesn't exile Tibalt's Trickery. And Mindbreak only is active once they play their third spell. So they cast Violent Outburst into Tibalt's Trickery, and then the third spell is Emrakul, which you can Mindbreak Trap. But so if you can cast like a Lightning Bolt and exile the Tibalt's Trickery, it is much better. That's true. Alright, they decide to Mana Leak, which I feel like would be just like an easy decision, honestly. Maybe they're playing around Blood Moon too. Maybe that was the decision point. Another 0-mana artifact would be good to play Engineer plus Emry next turn. Might like to if I don't, I might just like to play this Goblin Engineer. And then we can maybe like sack Bauble, get back Greaves, play Emry, flashback Bauble on the following turn. Bolt doesn't work, trap only counts. Oh, opponent spells, I see, you're right. Good to know. Hey, Mr. Ride. Yeah, but I am definitely there's a modern PTQ tomorrow, right? Someone in chat told me there was yesterday, but I didn't actually look. I just kind of. Oh, I probably am not supposed to play this Bauble.
What's
here.
up? It's me, your friend, Aspiring Spike.
I mean, it's not going to be a big deal, but I think I want to wait a turn on it. Harold, 3 months. Welcome back. Thank you for that.
Hello.
Hello.
I'm gonna take a shower, but is there anything you want for lunch specifically today?
Are you wanting to pick something up, or are you wanting to cook?
Pick something up. I don't really have much to cook. I
Mm.
mean, I have ramen.
Why don't you just tell me? I haven't eaten too much of that.
I know.
Why don't you just tell me where you want to go, and then I'll just tell you where I went from there.
I don't think I have anything in particular that I want to go.
Well, you can maybe like take your shower, then
think
think about it. Yeah.
Think about it in the shower. Just think about all the food. I think about food too much.
Yeah, I know.
Now I have to think about it in the shower? Like I always do? Okay, bye.
Let Twitch predict. All right, bye. How many channel points to decide the lunch? Good question. This is fairies, I see. Interesting. Yeah, I also shocked in this for no reason. Just kind of like thought I was playing Emry when I wasn't. I'm leaving this in place so I could play 2 Emrys here. Although if this resolves, I'm going to get Dwarven Mine and play a Magda. Otherwise I'll just get Steam Bits and play Emry number 2. And sack the Bauble. Going on to 12 does kind of stink. We hit another copy of Bauble, but that's the only like relevant card in the graveyard. They have a Spell Stutter Sprite on top, which can counter my Magda, which stinks. Though maybe Goblin Engineer is better to try to resolve. Vapor Snag, wow. Jeez. Might be a little too slow for Wurmcoil. Although if we can... Yeah, let me see if they want to Spell Stutter Sprite Goblin Engineer or not. Yeah, we're not going to be able to get the Lightning Greaves back in time, I think. So we can get Engineered Explosives here. And then might as well fetch up Dwarven Mine and cast Emry. I'm kind of stunned that they didn't... Maybe Thopter Foundry was actually the what we should have gotten. Because we're going to have a hard time killing this. Oh, right. Vendilion Click is a fairy. I don't know why I was thinking Vendilion Click wasn't a fairy. Sorry. That's on me. Could the mana base be slightly changed to include Luris as a Sacred Foundry, Treasure's Trial? I mean, I think when you have Emry, like getting Luris 2 to get back your Baubles is not that big a deal. And it's not something you're like heavily incentivized to do at all. Like when you already have Emry, it's not like you're like dying to also have Luris in your deck. And then Luris is like a double splash color, so I'm even less excited about it. I'll play the bridge. Well, I think they mean Luris in the main deck, because I mean, I very clearly I think this is not Luris as a companion deck. Trash for Treasure seems pretty bad against them. I think I'm cutting that package completely and maybe play like the first Flusterstorm. Maybe the second Mox Amber is bad. We can play 2 Storms. This looks like a good build for this matchup. Doesn't mean our Magdas are much worse without one big thing to get, I guess. Maybe we can play the Wurmcoil Engine. Maybe with the 4th Rebuke, yeah, with the Flusterstorm. This looks like a good configuration. I mean, Magda can still get like Thopter Sword. I think the Wurmcoil is fine. You can also just like cast it off of Urza. How do you get 5 treasures? Springleaf Drum or Treasure Map, ideally. I mean, Treasure Map like is something you can Goblin Engineer for, and then get 3 treasures, and then Springleaf Drum only needs to make 2. And you can have multiple Springleaf Drums and tap your Dwarven Mine tokens too, or just attack with Dwarven Mine tokens. But I didn't feel like there were too many other good treasure enablers. Flusterstorm has been legal in Modern since Modern Horizons came out, although I don't know what this little square set symbol means. But honestly, Magda just like generating treasures when you tap her to Springleaf Drum, or being a legendary creature from Mox Amber, is more so relevant in this deck. And like getting those treasures with your Urza feels pretty powerful to me. And then it's also a card your opponent has to kill, otherwise it is going to put a God-Pharaoh statue or Wurmcoil or Thopter Sword combo into play. You know, I mean, Wily Goblin just makes 1 treasure, you know? Like, you're only 1/5 of the way there, and then you have to put Wily Goblin in your deck, which is not something you want to do. Although, I was trying to figure out something with Magda and Bergie and Wily Goblin, because Wily Goblin seems like fine in that kind of shell. This is probably too many Galvanic Blasts, but it's kind of hard to mulligan against Blue-Black Fairies, so I think I'm going to keep. And I might just play Springleaf Drum on turn 1 off of Steam Vents. So big payoffs are God-Pharaoh statue and Thopter Sword. Also, we have a Wurmcoil in the main. Yeah. What about Lantern Storm? I mean, that's also like just not a modern power level card. Now, here's something that has been a lesson I've learned is, you know, when I'm trying to brew, this may just sound obvious, but when I'm trying to brew, I always just find success when I try to just play good cards, you know? When I try to not put cards like Captain Lantern Storm in my modern deck, things end up being so much more successful. And so the key is to find multiple good cards that work together, of course. I know that might sound obvious, but this is an interesting Jund build. Is the title not up to date? Because I mean, it might not be, because you're not the first one to say that. Maybe just like tabbed over. But we played like 9 matches with Jund. No, it's up to date. No, you're good. I just wasn't sure. Yeah, Spell Swindle is something I legitimately considered, but it's too much mana. What about Revel? Yeah, Revel in Witches is a 6 mana enchantment that doesn't impact the board. It's, you know, if you could Shark Typhoon is the only playable 6 mana enchantment that doesn't impact the board, you know? I know you're not trying to sound condescending, but they are already dead. I'm not sure what you're saying. But GD, they are already dead. Yeah, I don't know what you're saying. Goldspan Dragon has no recognition. Yeah, it's also just not playable.
Welcome, Spikelings.
Oh, dude, Bogarted Hellkite would be awesome. I have a friend who's building like that deck in EDH with Magda as the commander with the Hellkite. 51 Fulgrim, thank you for that. Hope you're having a good day today. Appreciate that. We were, I think, 5-4 with Jund. So pretty average Jund League. And it didn't feel like Magda was really adding, or sorry, Valky was adding that much, but the card didn't seem unplayable. We never got the Tibalt half into play, which is another thing. Snapcaster Inquisition. I guess I'm gonna blast the Snapcaster, then blast them. And top deck well. You're murdering with them with words. Trazareth, well, I mean, I prefaced what I was saying with, this might sound obvious, but I'm trying to teach a lesson, you know, that this is very important if you're wanting to brew, that in order for your brew to be successful, you need to find powerful cards that work together and not underpowered cards in your deck. And I'm not trying to be, I'm just trying to teach a lesson. I'm not trying, maybe I'm rambling too much, but I'm not trying to be condescending. I'm trying to be helpful. Maybe it's not working. That's the intent, at least. All right, pretty easy Thopter Foundry in the graveyard. Yeah, it's like, it's either I try to, convey this to chat, or every time I get an underpowered suggestion, I need to say, oh no, I don't think that's quite powerful enough, and I need to do that, multiple times a day, every day for the rest of my life. Or I can try to teach people how to build decks, which is ultimately, I think, give you the better use of everybody's time. Oh, I see it. Yeah. Text is also hard to interpret, Trazrath. For sure. Yeah, maybe I'm undervaluing Goldspan Dragon. I do think the card is interesting. We'll see, I guess. Seems like we've decided or found out that Fairies is a bad matchup. Leyline of the Void. Sure. Alright, Urza off the top. Emry. Okay. So this can get us back our Thopter Foundry next turn. We have to exile, though, an Arid Mesa, Dwarven Mine, a Rebuke, and an Engineer. Yeah, I think Goldspan is going to be amazing in Standard. I think it's going to be like an incredible card in Standard for sure. But 5 mana 4/4 haste creatures are sometimes playable in Modern, but have competition for other similar cards, and like usually don't go in very many decks. Didn't we agree Garak isn't playable? Garak. I'm sure the Jund League will go up on YouTube, but I don't have a timetable for that though. Yeah. Ponza is like really the only deck that gets to play dragons. They probably want to play Glorybringer or Stormbreath Dragon in some metagames, instead. Oh no, I meant to click Dwarven Mine and equip. Okay, well we're just dead. Sorry. We're dead to Tar Pit in 2 turns anyways. Weird hand. I'm gonna keep, I think. I mean, there was like to say that Jim Davis would be stealing my Pyre list is silly, since it is certainly not an original idea of mine to play Pyre of Heroes in Goblins. I may be one of the first people to actually do it, but Jim is, I'm sure, was already planning on doing it before we did. All right, I guess so. Let's hold this this Mishra's Bauble to sack for Trash to Treasure. Then we can maybe turn 3 God-Pharaoh statue. Looks like some Uro pile. Oh no, this is the Tipple's Trickery deck, I think. They mulliganed. Damn it. I guess this is just what this week is gonna be like. I mean, if somehow they have another tap land, we probably win, because they can never beat God-Pharaoh statue. Wait, no, do they play Castle Garenbrig? Maybe they don't. I mean, what deck plays Castle Garenbrig, Mystic Sanctuary, and mulligans to 5 besides the Tipple's Trickery deck? But I'm not sure if they do play this card or not. Are we going to see Pyre Shamans or Zombies first? Depends on like which version I build that ends up being better. They do, yeah. Well, they need an untapped land. I'm sure that they mulligan to Awakening. Yeah, it could be a Cryptic Command Titan deck, but I personally feel like you can't really play Castle in those decks. So nah, never mind. We'll just see what happens. We'll just make them show me that their build functions. If we were on the play, also we win that game. For whatever that's worth. And we have got a good sideboard plan. It just kind of stinks, you know? Like, I feel like I've got a sweet brew I want to play with, and we're playing against, you know, it's not really the kind of Magic we're wanting to test with. Whatever, right? Opponent also paid to be in this match. Also want the Ensnaring Bridge. Probably trim on Trash for Treasures post board, because turn 3 is kind of slow. But on the play, we can just keep Engineer into Trash for Treasure. Mulligan. We can also keep Bridge if we had 2 more lands. I think we have to go to 4. Sand just doesn't do anything. Finally found a counter spell. Keep this. Maybe we'll just keep 3 lands. I think that's fine. Just cast my spells. My opponent kept 7. Feels terrible. Wouldn't be surprised if R&D missed Trickery. They probably didn't realize this interaction, but Symbol's Trickery is definitely has a lot of text on it to try to prevent stuff like this from being competitively viable, but is written intended to like have people build glass cannon decks like this, which a lot of Magic players do enjoy. I think beating Ensnaring Bridge here. I want to get that or Damping Sphere. Let's get Bridge. They just can't really beat Bridge, I think. Maybe if they sideboarded into Titan. I love a 30-minute league. Yeah, this is our 4th league of the day, and we probably have time for 5. I'm playing some faster leagues. I might play another league with the Goblins deck. We'll see. What do I miss most about Paper Magic? Hanging out with my friends, for sure. So they can Sanctuary this back, I guess, but we can just draw another counterspell or another... or an artifact to put Bridge into play. I'm also going to get a Dwarf and beat down a bit. Cheap Artifact was a good draw. Damping Sphere is okay. They also they also have to have second Violent Outburst in hand to Trickery immediately. God-Pharaoh statue, then need to have 9 mana, maybe better than Bridge. Well, the problem is any artifact allows us to get Bridge back. In order to get God-Pharaoh statue, we have to draw an artifact and a Trash for Treasure, and they also can't beat Bridge. So, seems much better to get Bridge to me. Wait, they Sanctuary. Oh, sorry. I see. They're going for it like this. Makes sense. Good they didn't play around Metallic Rebuke. Yeah, this is a Kaldheim brew. We've got Kalda in the deck. Okay, maybe punish for not getting a second blue source here. This is counter if they pay 3, so if they have Sanctuary plus Violent Outburst, we lose. We have just also not drawn an artifact yet, but blue source or cheap artifact should put us in winning position. That's one of those 2 things. Because now what they can do is Sanctuary back, Trickery again, and then also have another Outburst in their hand. I think the Sanctuary edition was a really good choice for the Trickery deck. Very smart. This is like... this doesn't feel like we're playing Magic right now. Alright, that's another Sanctuary. Well, we should be able to win the counterspell fight. 1 mana short of that. Ah, what an awkward draw. Oh my gosh. They're dead in 2 turns to attacks. And they have to have also drawn another Tybalt's Trickery, which is not easy to do, or Valakut Awakening, which is not just super easy to do since their deck is all lands, you know. So with them not sanctuaring back Trickery right there, I think that they don't have an Awakening in their hand, although I guess they don't need to. There's no rush, you know. Alright, so this lets us get back Ensnaring Bridge. It does take a turn off of our clock, but I think Ensnaring Bridge is very unbeatable for them. So it's just, yeah, they conceded to it, so let's make sure they have no outs. Well, that was an embarrassing game for sure. Do I want Tormod's Crypt to exile their Tybalt's Trickery after we counter it? That actually feels pretty relevant to me. Maybe we can trim Urza number 3, Magda number 3. They can presumably blast on the bridge eventually, sure, yeah. I think so, yeah. Sounds close. And mulligan. Sounds also close. If this land came, if this was an untapped blue source, turn 1 Emry would make this hand much stronger. I think I'm still going to keep on the draw. We're pretty likely to be able to play a turn 2 Damping Sphere, which is just like good enough for me, I think. Opponent's mulling to 4. If I draw an untapped blue source, I'm just going to Emry on turn 1 because I can tap Mox Amber for mana. But if I don't draw an untapped land, I'm going to look for 1. Did draw 1. Nothing to do with the Amber mana. There's an Ensnaring Bridge in the yard, but we could Damping Sphere next turn. Or we could bridge if we draw an untapped land, I guess, which we did. Probably going to Sphere first. Welcome to Modern. I guess I was supposed to play the Triome, but also whatever. This has been 2 of our 3 matches so far this league. It's this Tybalt's Trickery nonsense. They scooped to Ensnaring Bridge last game. Let's see if they scoop to it this time. Sphere plus Bridge seems very difficult for them to beat. At least this matchup is good. Jingatha the Wellspring. Could be Tybalt's Trickery. Some versions play that. In which this hand is actually good against that. I think I'm going to try this. We drew Magda. And I think a lot of Jingatha decks are not very interaction heavy unless it's mono red prowess, but like this just tapping, making a treasure every turn is good. Yeah, but I think it's just Trickery again. Yeah, people will definitely play this in the PTQ tomorrow, but I don't think it's going to be super well positioned, but it's definitely like the kind of new combo deck that people try to spike PTQs with while people are unprepared. They're going to upkeep Violent Outburst? Is this somehow not Tybalt's Trickery? So if they're doing this on upkeep, they have multiple Cascade things, right? I can't play anything either because I didn't draw a land. Pretty close, 3 attacks away from just putting a God-Pharaoh statue into play. Or if we draw land into Dwarven Mine, we can do that a bit sooner. Weird. Why do this now? Why do this now? Play around some kind of like force spike effects? Yeah, this version just does full to 1 counter spell. And then Sideboard's in. Yeah, this version is I think the worst version. This version just doesn't play Sanctuary, and they just lose really hard. This stinks. This stinks. Yeah, Veil, like, they can't play cards like Veil of Summer in their deck, because otherwise they're just going to start hitting these cards off of Tipple's Trickery, right? Yeah, I think Belcher or Oopsal spells are going to be better for the most part. But people just want to play the new deck. You know, people just want to play the new interesting deck. I feel like we could keep this on the play and try to play a turn 3 God-Pharaoh statue, but I think on the draw we had the mulligan. Keep this on 4 cards, keeping probably to put one more back. You put back the Bauble. Yeah, maybe interesting is a bit too generous. Maybe I needed to keep the Bauble. I was thinking Drum plus Magda was going to be good, but it's probably too slow. I probably need to keep Bauble. Now I guess we're just dead, unless we draw Flusterstorm. It's fine, we'll just win game 3. Could you make a Magda Keenan deck? I feel like the engines are too bad. But maybe. They do both obviously work with Springleaf Drum. But the fact that I think that Magda is like a nice synergy card in this deck. But to be all in on Magda or all in on Keenan, I think is inadvisable. Since opponent conceded. Didn't even make me show them the Flusterstorm. But boy, do we not need another deck like that in the format. Let's keep this. Obviously, like, a little loose, but I think I want to try and keep a hand like this and see how it feels. Springleaf Drum, very good with Magda. Kind of want to find a little more action, see what our top card is. Our top card is Thopter Foundry. I think that's not the kind of action I want to find. I want to find, you know, like an Urza or an Emry. Goblin Engineer, maybe. Trash for Treasure can be good. If we can draw an Engineer. So we'll see if Magda resolves. Then we can play Sword of the Meek. Yeah, I think this is really where Magda's going to shine, just being like a good, you know, taps for Drum, taps for Amber, gives you a treasure token, which is good with Urza. Next turn, if we draw Goblin Engineer, we can try to put God-Pharaoh statue into play. The Magda's getting pushed. Now we're 1 mana short. No, we have the yeah. So Engineer lets us trash for treasure next turn. Or Emry potentially can mill over something. Dwarven Mine gives us a creature for Springleaf Drum. Can equip it to the sword. Can you play Magda and Keenan? People keep asking me about Magda and Keenan. I think it's probably okay. I think it's probably not great though. Just so fragile. I think it's a little bit better with the artifact synergies. Right, no 7th land. That means they have 3 spells in their hand. Bergie, Magda, Emry, Keenan, Urza. Seems interesting. Probably like a little too many creatures. I'm not against it though. Seems like that kind of list would take a lot of tuning before you really figured out what the 75 should look like. You can pay for mana leak here, which is kind of cool. Well, game over. We win. Could cycle the trash for treasure. I think I'm not going to. My 2/3 wildly outshines their 2/2 here. Of course, no blocks. All right, so if we draw another copy of Magda, we immediately get 2 treasure tokens. If Magda somehow lives for a turn, we can activate Magda. But we have Field of the Dead handled. Completely handled. Everything's fine on that front. Thoughtcast is an interesting idea to include here. No, we don't have Field of the Dead handled. That was being a little tongue-in-cheek there. I'm not playing any dragons. I'm playing some artifacts to get instead. I don't think you need to play dragons. They decay my dwarf token. Are they also going to escape Uro? If they escape Uro, you know, maybe we can draw Urza and like spin Urza and hit Thopter Foundry and win. Let's just see what we draw. So we milled over God-Pharaoh statue, which allows us to try to get it back via trash for treasure. Which is probably not enough on its own, right? Yeah, especially not if they have force. All right, let's go to game 2. Deck tech. Take a look. So let's bring in the Tormod's Crypts. The Flusterstorms, probably. Maybe 1 copy of Explosives for Field of the Dead. Sorry, we already have a main deck copy. Forgot about that one. Do you like the Lightning Greaves? I like the Thopter Sword combo. Let's trim on the Mox Amber, go down to 2 drum. Just really don't want to draw 2 drum, I think. Magda might be the worst card in our deck, honestly. In general, potentially, and at least in this matchup. I kind of don't hate Wurmcoil Engine. I think I'm gonna cut a Metallic Rebuke. No. Let's actually go down on the trash for treasure plan. Maybe play like the first copy, but that seems pretty bad. Pyre Elemental is cool. This is something I was thinking about too. Obviously, I haven't sat down and thought about it yet, but I'm down to look. I like 1 Fulminator Mage, 1 Incandescent Soul Blade. I like the split of Omnath's targets. I would be playing more Risen Reefs, I think. I would not play Spark Feeder. Spark Trooper. Maybe a sideboard copy, but I don't think you are interested in it. I like the 4 Voice. Vesperlark actually seems really interesting to me. I would play 4 Risen Reef, though, for sure. I would also probably not play this Mana Confluence. I'm not sure exactly how you make it work instead. I understand Ancient Ziggurat doesn't work. Like, you can play, like, the first... Oh, you're already playing Reflecting Pools. I don't know. Mana Confluence kind of sucks. Yeah, but this Pyre does seem really good in Elementals. I agree. I'm interested in trying it out. I would also only play 1 copy of Spite Bells as a tutor target. I would not play 2. It's another way you can make room for the 4th Risen Reef. I'm also kind of interested in, like, a 3rd Vesperlark, too. Healer of the Glade seems fine, but not like very exciting. You can maybe move the Spark Trooper to the sideboard in that spot, but I think it's going to be pretty bad no matter what. I'd probably play more Damping Spheres too. You just need to have answers to Tybalt's Trickery right now. Let's keep this. Hand looks fine. Why Confluence over something like... Well, Ziggurat doesn't work with Pyre. as I think the issue. But I think you can just figure out something else for the mana base. I'm not exactly sure what the right card is, but I don't think it's Mana Confluence. Mana Confluence goes in like fast combo decks and nothing else, in my opinion. Got another deck tech. Hold on. Let's see. Hopefully this Greaves resolves. Bone Crusher. So this is supposed to be Tippled's Trickery, I'm assuming. So this is just like a value Tippled's Trickery deck. I mean, the problem is like you're still going to hit extra copies of Tippled's Trickery sometime. But this is also, I think, a poor way to build it. I think that if you're playing the Tippled's Trickery plan, you need to be like a bit more all in on it. You know what I mean? You need to be doing more powerful things and hitting Bone Crusher Giant or Brazen Borrower, which are not, in my opinion, Borrower is not even a good card in Modern. But this is certainly not how I would approach building the archetype. Kind of want to get Treasure Map here. Is that crazy? Maybe it is. Already have a Bauble in the graveyard. Already have a Thopter. I mean, we could maybe just get like Sword or Thopter Foundry. I think we get Treasure Map. If they kill this, they kill this, but it's not that big a deal. It's Valky. Oh, sorry. I was assuming it was Tippled's Trickery. It's interesting, for sure. Definitely an interesting way to build that deck. Or it's I don't know. I really don't think cascading into Tibalt on turn 3 is going to be... If that's your first play in most games, which it seems like it's going to be, that does not seem like a very good payoff to me. Dwarven Mine plus Springleaf Drum I think is pretty powerful too, or at least like... It's interesting to me, I should say, potentially. You have Assassin's Trophy? Okay. Was I supposed to float mana? I guess I wasn't casting anything off of it. You feel like Springleaf Drum is a trap? Maybe. I mean, it's got a lot of synergies in this deck, but potentially it is. This is going to be hard for them to beat, I think. Don't really want to run Urza into Cryptic Command, especially not when I have counterspells like in top deck. Yeah, I'm not sure you have to play a Rainbow Land necessarily. I think you can just play potentially some regular dual lands. You know, be it fast lands or shock lands or some amount of fetches and shocks. Maybe some pathways. Because your deck is mostly red anyways. I guess Mariner's not red. And I guess, never mind. Yeah, never mind. You do have a lot of color requirements. But I think you can afford to play some number of regular lands. But I would really discourage the Mana Confluence. Ouch. Explosives on 0, so good here. I'm definitely not playing a second Urza before I make them crack it. Drawing 2 lands in a row here is also so bad. So we can pay for Mana Leak, I'll play this land. Also get to spin Urza here, if this resolves. But there's really not that much that counters it because they can't have Charm. There's also not that much that kills it here. Cool. Now we have a Hexproof Urza. Whoa! We hit God-Pharaoh's statue. Awesome. I mean, maybe it just gets countered, but probably it's forced. Yeah, but still pretty cool. Oh, I did. Oh, I did. I meant to pop the crypt, of course. That's very bad to not have done it. Feels silly. No attack seems loose. I went to combat, then they popped the explosives, and then I played the second main phase. I guess I'll keep this Drum untapped in case I hit Magda. I think I'm playing this for 0. And spinning again. No, I'll just tap the Drum. Because I'd rather just draw a card off the Bauble, I think. There's a Watery Grave on top. This also can kill zombie tokens. Just gonna bottom. Not moving my sword over, my Greaves over, I think. I will spin again. It's like the 5th time we've activated Urza. It's pretty good. I think I was supposed to main phase spin, but we do have counter spells in our deck to hit. Yeah, I just don't want to open this up to removal spell. Them not having an Uro is also really nice for us. You're right. Spin to win. Guess we're kind of soft to Shark Typhoon here, but I considered casting an Urza as well. Nexus. They have 1 card left. 2 cards now that they took their extra turn. Why do I feel like they drew Nexus of Fate again? They drew Sanctuary. Targeting Force of Negation? Really? They chose not to use it. Fair enough. They've got 1 card and we have backup Urzas. I think I'm just gonna equip here and attack. Just try to kill them. Oh, I didn't need to equip because we have... With this pumps the dwarf token, of course. Whatever, got there. Alright, Magda for the win, dude. Weird game. Weird game. Kind of wish these Tormod's Crypts were Soul Guide Lanterns right now. Keep, I guess. Seems fine. Have a Thoughtseize. Spellbomb. So now the Arid Mesa can also be a Dwarven Mine. You have to, I really think you want to play a 4 Risen Reef. I really think you do, but you know, I may be wrong. I'd encourage you to try it out. That's just what my gut is telling me. All I can do is offer you my perspective, and you can formulate your own opinion based on that. They can exile my treasure map with their spell bomb here, which they do elect to do so. Get their Triome. Man, I miss playing Sultai Uro. So I need to check what time tomorrow's PTQ is to make sure I am playing in it. 19 hours. I think that's good for me, right? Starts at 5. 9 a.m. my time, so like my usual start time. Perfect. All right, I'm gonna jam here. It's nice that they can't cryptic it, but I do certainly feel like it's not likely to resolve. But good to be wrong. Love being wrong. What's the argument for playing Spellbomb versus Soul Guide? Well, here's Torment Script versus Soul Guide. I think Nihil Spellbomb is better than Soul Guide Lantern if you're playing black. I think Lantern is worse otherwise. I think this deck should have Lantern over Tormod's Crypt. I didn't really realize I would want to bring it in on the Uro matchup because I am used to playing decks that I just don't bring in Graveyard Hate against Uro a lot of the times, but I think this deck does because it's got a lot of cards to cut. We have Assassin's Trophy. This is pretty good for us, I think. Obviously, like, we're a little flooded here, and we've only, you know, if they can Cryptic Command my Uro, it's bad for us, and this Emry's not doing anything because they spellbombed. But that was definitely a, like, favorable exchange, I think. They do get back Assassin's Trophy here. Interesting. I think I am just
What's
gonna...
up? It's me, your friend, Aspiring Spike.
Jam Urza. Tape Decky, 9 months. Welcome back. Sweet braids. Thank you, thank you. Obviously, they could have a Cryptic Command, but I think that we're behind enough, and the Urza's not getting that much better, so it's jamming. So now we know that one of their cards is Assassin's Trophy. I don't think that they're going to trophy my Construct, but I could be wrong. One of the cards was Growth Spiral, and another one was Misty Rainforest, which they're not electing to get back Mystic Sanctuary on remand. Well, this could be Reclamation if they're playing Castle Ventress. Yeah, definitely drew too many lands this game. If this resolves and they plan on trophying it, we can activate Urza, which is good. Maybe we'll even draw a Flusterstorm and then not be able to counter. Counterbounce. Well, they are at 8, and we have 2 more Dwarven Mines in our hand. This does connect and puts them down to 6, and their hand is like all spot removal. And we know one of their cards is Assassin's Trophy, which is not very good here. We can maybe steal a game. Yeah, if they Sanctuary back Cryptic Command is going to be like kill a creature, draw a card, which is good, but is not going to be better than an Uro, better than a Field of the Dead. So their hand is Cryptic, Assassin's Trophy, Mystery card. Get another Dwarf here. Yeah, this is some flood insurance, just like Mystic Sanctuary. Guess I maybe was supposed to hold this to not give them the info that they're about to get more of a dwarf beat down. Yeah, they just can't bring themselves to kill a dwarf. I get it. I probably couldn't do it either. Fact or fiction, huh? Well, explosives versus the rest, maybe. Would Valakut Awakening be doable? I think it's too bad with the mines, in my opinion. Yeah, I think you have to have all mountains, which is not very hard to do in this deck either. They do take the explosives. So their hand is Cryptic Command, Assassin's Trophy, Engineered Explosives. Exactly. So we'll make them crack the explosives, and they probably need to Assassin's Trophy my Emry as well. Okay, we have one more mine in the deck. Rest in peace, Mox Amber. I'm going to attack for 1, of course, over getting back the Mox Amber. Yeah, Fact or Fiction just drew 1 card. I was certainly hoping that I would get to be able to draw a spell and Mystical Rebuke their, or Metallic Rebuke their Cryptic this turn, but I mean, it's hard to complain too much. We'll see if they draw Spider Uro or not. If we win this game against the Uro field of the deck just with Dwarf beatdowns, it's going to be so cute. Alright, can we please draw a good threat? We just flooded out so badly this game. Come on. I think we even kept like a 3-lander. Whatever. They go tap draw. Sadly, they only let you play 4 Dwarven Mines in your deck. Yeah, I should have played 5 Dwarven Mines. They drew a swamp. I mean, if they have nothing, we win. That's a little bit more than nothing, huh? Yeah, what are the bad matchups for Mono Red Prison? All of them, I agree. I really do think the deck has no good matchups. They even play around Metallic Rebuke. It's so sick. Oh, there he comes. Watch out, Uro, he'll chew you up. Oh, there he comes. He's an Uro killer. Oh, here he comes. Watch out, boy, he'll chew you up. Woo! Turning it around. And then they're also playing around this Metallic Rebuke. Suspiciously, perhaps. They don't know about it, right? This really feels like they know about it, but they don't actually know about it. Not that I'm not accusing my opponent, but it just is sus as hell. They saw it off of Urza game 2. I mean, they know it's in my deck, but like they played it. I don't know. It just has felt like they've been playing around it too hard by like shocking in the breeding pool while their life total's low, and like pausing on that force of negation there. Like why? Like what world are you not casting the force in a spot like that? Yeah, maybe they just wanted to hold up the force, but like in what world did they not snap off the force of negation on God-Pharaoh statue? I don't know. Yeah, they could just be a bad player for sure. I'm not trying to be rude, but maybe I was calling snipe a little too aggressively. I try not to do it, but I did it anyways here, so I apologize for that. Why am I playing so many basic mountains? I'm a Dwarven Mine deck, so I want my only basics to be mountains, and I don't want to be fetching and shocking constantly. So I want to play a lot of fetch lands to get Dwarven Mines, and I don't want to just always shock myself. Fatal Push is bad for us. Yeah, just Toxic Streamer all around over here. Yeah, Uro definitely very silly. Honestly, a pretty bad showing for the deck where we definitely have a good Tybalt matchup, but the deck didn't necessarily feel very powerful outside of that. I kind of feel like the Trash for Treasure plan is something that I want to move away from. I thought it made sense with the Goblin Engineer, but I think you can just probably afford to not play this. And honestly, like playing just a God-Pharaoh statue in this deck to cast with Urza doesn't sound terrible, but I also am just addicted to this card. I think you can maybe play more interaction or some find a different value engine in this spot instead. And so that's where I'd recommend going in the future. Given playing around Rebuke is the same as holding up Force, they might have been. Yeah. I think you're right.